Now you can save 20% off Truck Stop Load Board Pro for 6 months. The best tool for serious carriers. Don't miss out. Click the link in the description to get 20% off Load Board Pro for 6 months. This easy? With LogRock, it's like magic. Real coverage appears when you need it. No tricks. Get covered now. Click the link in the description.
Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say viewer discretion is advised.
What's up? How's everybody doing? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. If you guys need working capital for your business, Rock Financial has a solution for you. Working capital, business lines of credit, loans, equipment funding, whatever your working capital need is for your business, your trucking business, box truck, cargo van business, Rock Financial has a solution for you. Click the link in the description below and they'll be able to help you out. Also, LogRock, sponsor of the channel, commercial insurance, semi-truck, box truck, cargo van, giggers. If you need commercial insurance because you're coming into the business and it's a requirement, if you are up for renewal and you want to shop around, click the link in the description below for LogRock. Talk to the good people over at LogRock and see what type of commercial insurance solution they have for you at an affordable rate. Come on in, make sure you guys click the like button, subscribe to the channel. Turn on all post notifications. Happy Friday. The week is over with. Hope everybody is out running and profitable. All right, let's get this roll call going. Then we're going to get this show on the road. I'm not going to be here. Yesterday, people want to call up. I'm not doing that today. I'm going to get in and get out because I got stuff I got to do. Shout out to Joshua Young. What's good? Shout out to SB Walk. Shout out to all the MGM members. What's going on? Shout out to HCP Picks Live. What's up? Shout out to Richard Chicago. Shout out to everybody representing the crib. Shout out to all the moderators. Shout out to We Carry Freight. Shout out to everybody that's part of the MGM gang. Kelvin Birch. Kelvin, you at Wrigley Field? The Cubs playing today. What you doing? You in town? Shout out to Crazy. Back for the virtual crack. Shout out to Crazy. Crazy is addicted to the channel. I'm just convinced Crazy is addicted. He found the channel, you know what I'm saying? And Crazy is addicted. He's addicted to the channel. Shout out to Mr. Visionary representing Jersey. Shout out to Kiana Inglewood. What's going on? Shout out to Marcellus. Shout out to Emika. What's up? JMR. Shout out to Asthma Roland representing the West Coast. All right. This is finna be an adult conversation. So I'm finna give you a warning. This is going to be an adult conversation. Box trucking and trucking and business is more than just, it's not cut and dry. You know, a lot of people will come to the channel and they'll land on the channel on one of these days when we just having an adult conversation about business. And people will get mad. There was a guy that came in yesterday. He was angry. And then, you know, after I got off the stream, I saw he put the same comment that he put in the stream under a bunch of videos, and I had to remove him. But I also had to find the source of his anger, where he said Big Mark didn't help him out. And then I saw he put a comment a couple weeks ago and asked about what's the name of the insurance company that you always talk about? And he didn't get a response. Now, I get hundreds of comments a day. I can't respond to everybody. But a comment like that, I mean, it just speaks to the level of incompetence that we talked about yesterday. The insurance company sponsors the channel. The commercial, obviously he heard it from me doing what I just did, right? Which is the pitch, right? You see the commercial. If you scroll down in the description, you'll see a link. So you scroll past all that stuff to write in the comment section, yo, what's the name of the insurance company that you be talking about? And then you get mad because I don't respond. When the answer is right in front of you, it's in every video, it's in every description. You see it pinned in the corner. And then we wonder why this rate of the F word, I'm not going to say it because people get triggered by the F word, is so high. I really don't understand it. So we're going to have a conversation today. We're going to have a conversation today because people overlook that. Yesterday in that live stream, a conversation came up, and I hear this pit, this person versus that person, uh, this group of people, which in the same demographic versus the same demographic of people. So today I want to talk about why the incompetence exists in just our community in general. And it's going to be a difficult conversation. And some people ain't going to understand it. They're going to think it's pessimistic, but it's not. You just got to listen to what's being said and then decide what you want to do. All right? So we're going to get into it. And it's going to be an adult conversation. If you can't comprehend, then you need to get your comprehension skills up and you need to open your mind up. So, majority of the people that's coming into the box truck business now are African American. We see it. We see it everywhere. You see it out in the field. You probably see it in the truck stops. You see it on social media. Box trucking, it seems like it's predominant African American, right? And the African American community is contributing a lot to the failure rate for many different reasons. So when a person like Kurt comes up here and he pits like migrants against, African Americans, you got to understand one, why things are the way they are. Doesn't make it's no excuse, but we got to get to the understanding and the root of the cause, right? And it's historical, it's systematic, right? Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. Historical roots of distrust goes all the way back to slavery. Division amongst our culture has been weaponized. You got the house slave, you got the field slave. One was given what would be considered perceived privilege, the other labor and punishment. The division created an internal mistrust that never left. So this has been embedded since slavery. You fast forward to Jim Crow, all the way to corporate tokenism of today. You got one or two black people who are elevated in a system while the rest is shut out. Continues to today. fosters jealousy, fosters resentment, it fosters suspicion. To sum it up, we can't work together. We're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. You're guilty of it. Speaking with me, even when I've tried to do it, it's so overpowering that I have to resort into this mindset of fuck them niggas. And trust me, I try my hardest not to. The reason I'm talking about this today, it's like kind of a continuation from yesterday, but I had somebody reach out to me this morning, one of my homies, you know, 25, maybe 30-year homie. He watched the show and we were just having just a real adult conversation for about 2 hours on why we like this. Because he worked for me for stints. I've had homies that worked for me and stints they get in trouble. They fight in the case, whatever the case may be. They've had to come work for me for periods of times, for whatever reason. Then they go off on their own, whatever. So he had a couple stints where he came and he worked for me, and we was just going down memory lane. And we adults, we grown, man. We in our mid-40s, so we can talk to each other on a intellectual level. He said, man, when I look back, man, you did some great things, man. But a lot of the people that work for you from being in the field just resented you. And for the life of me, even to today, I just can't understand why. He said, but you know it. I said, yeah. But you've always been a person who can deal with it. Why we like that? I said, shit, you tell me. He said, man, he just started naming some people that work for me. And he was just, I think a lot of it stems from when you get in a position that a lot of people admire, especially when they look just like you, they question themselves, why him and not me? It all stems back to slavery, Jim Crow, systemic. So we've been conditioned to see each other as competition instead of partners in building wealth. You see a lot of black content creators talk about this generational wealth. And what do you always hear me say? I always speak to the mindset of one building it, but how can you build generational wealth when we can't work together? A lot of the reasons why a lot of these other ethnicities build it is because they work together. I like to use the Asians as an example um, with the beauty supply. They control it. They work together. They got a system that they put money up in a pot, and as people come to this country, they have a pot of money that sets them up so that they can get a business, type of businesses that they enter into, beauty supply, nail shops, things of that nature, and it sets them up. They also have a network when it comes to the beauty supply where, the powers that be, the ones that are real high up in the hierarchy with the money, they buy so many units, right, of hair products that they have their own intra network here where they distribute and wholesale to the people in their ethnicity and community and these businesses that run these businesses. They don't have to go outside of the network. This is how they keep the cost down. So that's why when you hear black people that try, or black women that try to open up a beauty supply, they have a hard time competing, right? Because you're not competing just against individual mom and pop beauty salons. You're competing You're competing against a whole network. If you got your one store and you're only buying enough units for your one store, you're never going to be able to outcompete a conglomerate of people who are buying containers and containers and containers, and their unit price is so low because because they're buying so many units, and then they're redistributing amongst their people, and even redistributing, their wholesale price is still lower than what you can buy for because you're only buying for your one store. You can't compete. Why? Because they're working together. That's how you build generational wealth. You can't do it on your own. You can, but the likelihood of it's easier to work as a group than it is to work by yourself because you have multiple thinking, and the more resources you have, the likelihood of success is higher, especially when you got a multitude of people, because you may have this person who specializes in this and they can focus on this. You got this person that's good and specializes in that and they can focus on that. This guy's good in marketing. This guy's good in sales. This guy has the money. This guy has the relationships. And this is how that group can control those industries. They pass down a system. That's a system. We don't have it. When we start, we're often the first generation. I was the first generation. Before me, there was none. So, with being the first generation, you have to work hard. The problem is, that's why, like a lot of these young guys, when they come in and they click the link and I'm having a conversation like this, they thinking I'm finna just hand them like some cut and dry shit. Bro, business is more than just go here, apply here, get this, do that, get this, do that. Yeah, because I can tell you that, but then there's guys out there that you competing against like me that got all that fundamental shit, but I got this up here too. So then what you gonna do? What you gonna do against the guy that's working for you that's trying to steal your business from under you? I can tell you about it because it's I've been in that situation twice. You wouldn't know what to do. You don't have systems in place that if that did happen to you, you would probably just let it happen to you. These are the conversations that also need to be had. We don't have a blueprint. We don't have role models. I didn't have them. Not saying it's a bad thing, but I understood at that time and understand now that I was the first generation of entrepreneurship. So I had to figure all this shit out on my own. Hands on, a lot of this. Partnerships are based on good faith. We don't trust each other. Partnerships are based on good faith instead of structure. And when you don't have contracts, when you don't have SOPs, when you don't have agreed roles, that trust, it breaks very, very fast. And a lot of the young people and just people that I talk to in general that come into this business as partners, it doesn't last long. I think I haven't met one person since I've been creating content that I've talked to that has come to me that started off as a partner. It didn't last. There's a guy in my Discord, you've probably seen him, Ty. He started with a partner. It lasted 2 weeks. You know why? Because they didn't have none of this in place. They didn't have a contract. They didn't have SOP. They didn't have agreed roles. They put some money together, and then when one person's money ran out, the other person kept going. It's never a partnership. They used each other to get in, and they thought it was going to be sweet. If I come into a business with a partner and we come in with a certain amount of money, but my money is longer than yours, right? And you happen to run out, the reason why you ran out is because you didn't have a system, a contract, you didn't have a business plan, and none of this shit in place. But if we're partners, I'm gonna figure out, something where you can still pull your weight and invest into the company. If I know I'm the bread, then you gotta be more on the muscle side, and you gotta be able to pull your weight. There's no way in the world I'm gonna partner with somebody and in 2 weeks the partnership is just gonna implode. People just be partnering just to be partnering because really they don't have enough capital to enter into this business on its own. But then when you partner, you don't even have no paperwork. You smiling, you laughing, you posting on Instagram, talking about you finna build this generational wealth. But as soon as the truck break down, as soon as one person's money run out, as soon as one person wants to reinvest the profits, the other person want to go shopping, the whole thing implode. Reason, because you enter into the partnership without clarity. No structure, no trust. And I'm going to be honest with you. I've said it plenty of times. I don't really trust nobody. It's hard to trust. So that's why I say I'm guilty of it too. I'm like, I don't talk about things without being fully transparent. I'll tell you, I'm guilty of it too. Still a conversation. And my level of distrust is from just things that I've gone. Not to say I haven't trusted in the past, I have. I talked about the junk removal business that I got into for a year. That was a partnership thing. That was a favor for somebody. They started off with the right mindset, 2020, what people did in 2020. And, this guy, he had some money. He was actually an employee of mine. He got the money. You guys know how these people were getting their money in 2020. He said, I don't know nothing about business. I got this money. Been working for you all these years. I admire your business acumen. I don't want to blow it like everybody else is doing. I want to build something, but I need to partner with you because I don't know nothing about business. The presentation was great. This guy been working for me since 2012. I knew I had already had a game plan of exit, so I said, you know what, I'll help him with this because I got a few more years. I'm coming out. This will help set him out. He's giving me 8 years. I trusted it. I said, I got everything we need. All I need from you is 10 grand. I got everything else. It's not a real costly business to start. I had everything we needed. Only thing we needed was the trailer. We went to a trailer place out here in Morris, Illinois. We bought a brand new 2021 7x14, 4 foot high walls. We got the high wall one, so we didn't have to build a wall out. Brand new PJ trailer. cargo net, swing doors, ramps, the whole work. This is before inflation, $9,999.99. Already got trucks. I drove my pickup truck out there, picked it up. He invested. I set up the corporation, got the uniforms, ordered the sledgehammers, the crowbars, uh, the big garbage pails to drag out all the debris from whatever was being done, clean outs, gut outs, demo, to the trailer to dump it, all the material. I covered the cost of that, setting and structuring the business, and I already got trucks. Everything started great. Business was off and running from its inception. I mean, I'm handling all the business. What happens? He got beside himself. Money started rolling in. Me understanding business, I want to reinvest the money back into the business. He wants to get paid. I'm like, we need to reinvest the money back into the business. Business ain't even been in for a year yet. I'm getting full house gut rehab jobs. I'm getting HOA jobs. It got to the point where I said, bro, I don't even need you to be there because I already saw where this was going. This dude showed up on a job site just wilding, trying to run some shit. Everybody that was doing that were people that I had transitioned over from the trucking side to over there. I had people that I transitioned over there. I'm learning the business. I'm learning how to bid. I'm taking those losses. I don't know how to bid. I'm learning the cost of the dump. At that time, it was $75 a ton. This dude out doing what everybody was doing during the pandemic. So shortly, I realized I'm going to build this business up. I'm going to buy myself out, and I'm going to leave it with him. 9 times out of 10, he's going to run it into the ground. I just wanted to build it up till it was profitable, buy myself out, and leave it. I realized this ain't going to work. It don't take me long. We didn't even get to that point. We can't work together. I just left everything and walked away. I don't need it. So I've tried it. That was one occurrence. I tried another business partnership before. It doesn't work. Why? Because I'm a real businessman. I don't get excited when the money starts coming. I understand what it takes to build a business, especially from the inception. And that's reinvestment. But most people who don't understand it, they want to get paid. Why? Because they're not sacrificing, they're spending money. Look at other cultures, they understand it. They'll stay down until they come up. I will never do it again. All it takes is twice for me. Some of my OG always told me, God bless the child this guy is on. She never lied. This is why I don't listen to Kirk. Kirk don't understand wisdom. We get the wisdom for the generation that came before us. OG always give me wisdom. So I don't listen to Kirk. Kirk just be blabbling. I see it in other ethnicities. They will stay down till they come up. Our shit implodes. fear of being played. There's a deep suspicion in our community that if I don't control everything, I'll get finessed. In that same situation of the junk removal, that guy, he was dealing with a chick, and the chick thought she was smart. Man, they went and they looked up the corporation on CyberDrive. He didn't know nothing about this. So he went and looked it up on CyberDrive, and he saw that I was the principal. And I said, well, man, why my name ain't on it? I'm like, bro, your name on the bank account. Well, why my name ain't on the corporation? Bro, I'm the principal. Doesn't mean that I'm going to take advantage of you. Everything is structured. Your name is on the bank account. That's what matters. I'm the principal. I set everything up, and I set that shit up like that for a reason. Why? Because this nigga a street dude. I'm not going to make him the principal. I'm not going to take advantage of him either because I don't need to. I'm up. You came to me for help. But there's always that suspicion that you're going to get finessed. He let somebody get in his ear. He came. Man, why my name? Bro, it means something, but it don't mean nothing like how you making it. We don't trust. So when it did implode, I just walked away. I don't care. Nigga, take the trailer, do what you want. And you know what happened? He went to jail, and some of the guys from over east stole it from him. So he didn't last. He lasted maybe another 30 days without me. That was the end of that. The reason why that fear exists, it comes from that systemic conditioning that I talked about earlier. 400 years of exploitation. So now we assume our own people will do it too. And it's true. You know, we the worst to ourselves. But here's a guy that worked for me at that point for 8 years. I never took advantage of him. I don't know why he would think that, but you let people get into your ears, and it's that systemic shit, that fear. Now, something that keeps coming up, yesterday it came up a bunch of times, comparisons with other communities. Immigrants do things differently. Hispanics, Arabs, Indians, Eastern Europeans pool money to buy trucks, gas stations, convenience stores, fleets. True. This is very true. They rotate resources, they build together, and then within a decade, they have enterprises, not hustles. Everything that you see on the internet when it comes to box trucking looks like a hustle. Look at the guy we showed yesterday. Look at the comprehension when Shage called him. I'm telling this guy where I found the video, and he's making it seem like I put the video. I'm telling him. This dude's dry humping the goddamn steering wheel. I don't take him serious. How can I take you serious? We reviewed a video earlier this year on a Wiseman. Content creator. No placards on the truck. A series of violations. We talk about it. Content creator says we frowned upon them. It was good content. How the fuck was it we frowning upon? First of all, as a content creator, you should have systems in place. Before I cut the camera on, I make sure my face is moisturized. I make sure I brush my teeth. I floss because I ate. You know what I'm saying? I don't want shit stuck in my teeth. So even as a content creator, when you cut the phone on, you're doing trucking content, and a person is looking up to you to be educated, you don't have the understanding that you should cross your T's and dot your I's? How the fuck is that? So even when people challenge us with that, when me and Kurt reacted to that, I'm like, nah. If you don't got placards, what type of business you running? If you are here, you set the standard. I'm not honoring that. It's a hustle. You know why the other ethnicities can get ahead? Because they trust the group. They trust the group more than they trust the individual hustle. In our community, is the opposite. The opposite is true in our community. We trust ourselves, but not each other. I'm guilty of it myself. Not because of systemic issues, because of the shit that my people have done to me. Trucking is a game of scale. And I've said this over and over and over again. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. It's an adult conversation. We got 90 people across 3 platforms. We got 27 likes on YouTube. Trucking is a game of scale. I say it all the time. One truck is survival. 5 trucks is leverage. 10 trucks is power. I understood that very early. And I know that's a lot of people's dream, but we see people can't get there. And there's many reasons why. I talked about some reasons yesterday. I'm talking about some more reasons today. Not everybody can do that on their own. Everybody don't have the mental fortitude to accomplish that on their own. We see that. I show you that, and I showcase that every time I talk to somebody. And you know who gets mad the most when I have these conversations? The young generation. You hating. How? Nigga, I'm all the way up. Fuck you. How am I hating on you? I don't even understand that. I don't even understand what that means. The reason why a lot of people that come into this game stay in this survival mode because they can't work together. You listen, we was having this conversation early this morning. I was in the Discord kicking it last night for about 3 or 4 hours to about 1, 2 in the morning. I was talking. Young Blood, a few Young Bloods was in there. Ty was in there, Young Blood. And we was just having this conversation. Even in this shit, this content shit, when I first started doing this, man, I got hit with so much flack for just talking about my experience and making some bold forecasts based on my experience. To me, I didn't understand why these people were repping for this peak season that wasn't going to come. When the evidence was clear as day, if you would have done some research, that the retailers, there was nothing to move because everything was already here. People found it hard to believe that when I started creating content, I was talking about my experience. There was people that said, man, that nigga ain't got 15 trucks. That nigga ain't never had 15 trucks. Why? Because it's hard to believe a black motherfucker could amass a fleet. This is my shit my homie saying. My homie telling me this. We having this conversation. We was talking about it early this morning in the Discord. So instead of tuning in just to hear what Mark had to say, a lot of hate. I wouldn't even call it hate. I would say a level of uncertainty. I wouldn't even say that. I don't know what to call it, to be honest with you. But it wasn't inviting. There was some guy that came into my comment sections about a month or two ago. Like, I don't understand why people found that shit hard to believe. But then again, I do. Because a black motherfucker should never have that. Ain't no way a black motherfucker did that. I ain't the only one, though. Now, 3.5 years later, after the receipts, the taxes, and everything else that I've shown, why couldn't it just be that and accept it based on me just telling you that? Why is that hard to believe? But I guarantee you, if it was another ethnicity they said that shit, you wouldn't have thought twice. If an Arab would have said it, it wouldn't have been no rebuttal. If a white person would have said it, wouldn't have been no rebuttal. Hispanic would have said it, it wouldn't have been no rebuttal. Black motherfucker say it, oh, ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way another motherfucker did it. But this is the whole reason why you coming in to scale and build generational wealth. So you want to do it, but ain't no way no other motherfucker that look like you did it. See how that shit work? Mr. Vision said it was a scam culture at the time that had a lot to do with it. I agree. It was hard at that time to trust the word of anybody because there was so many people taking advantage of people. And obviously it was 3 years ago. The cream has risen to the top. Majority of those people have gone, and the space is pretty much, I mean, me and maybe one or two other people on maybe one other person on a consistent basis, and that's Vic. But everybody else is faded away for the most part. It's people that still do it intermittently. So I agree with you. But take that out the equation, and I still think that mindset still exists. So when I talk about 1 truck, 5 trucks, 10 trucks is power, I mean it. See, I understand that. And like I was saying before I got a little derailed, a lot of people in today's times, it's hard for them to grow and scale because they don't think with this. Here's the thing. If you know you don't got this, but you got the paper, the wise thing to do would be, one, partner with somebody who does have this, or listen to somebody that has this, that's done it before, But you can't do that. It's hard to do that. So I'm asking the question, why? So you stay stuck in the survival mode, and that's why so many people fail within that first year, or they uh, burn out in year one. Within year one, a lot of people don't even make it 12 months or year two. And these other ethnicities, they continue to quietly build fleets. And land contracts. We've seen a total shift in the dynamic in Final Mile. Final Mile was always black and Hispanic. Now it's a lot of Dominicans, migrants doing it. So you don't see this shift just in OTR. See it in Final Mile, see it in moving, see it across the whole entire landscape. The system benefits from our division. Banks, they love when we come in and apply for solo loans that we can't afford. Now I'm just saying we. I'm grouping me in because I'm black. But I'm not guilty of this. Brokers love when we come in single truck owner operators instead of fleets. They can dictate rates and not get pushed back. Shippers know when we won't unite and demand fair contracts, we'll undercut each other for pennies. It's divide and conquer economics. When we don't unify, we stay consumers, not controllers. I could tell you a story about that. This is what tenure and experience gets you. So many years in this industry, I have stories for all these situations. There's a guy that worked for me, and I dominated. I dominated this 3PL, which goes back to what I just talked about earlier. 10 trucks, when you get to that 10 trucks or more, that's power. If you've been following my channel for a while, I had an executive from Cardinal Logistics, which got acquired last year by Ryder, John. He came on the channel. You won't be able to find that, but the people who were lucky enough to be watching that stream that night when the executive for Cardinal was on, he said something. He said, "We moved away from the master contractor model." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because master contractors have too much control over our docks." I was guilty of that in a good way. There was this one contract, I just dominated that 3PL. And there was a guy that worked for me, and on one of the contracts that we were running for that 3PL, he was one of the top two guys at it. It was the Office Depot contract. He would average about 60, 70 stops. He would just get done really, really early. He was just really efficient with it. I had so many trucks running for this 3PL that, and I And they always needed me every single day for extra trucks. I had leverage. I'm smart. I use the leverage to my advantage. All my trucks were running on a guarantee. Not one single truck, didn't matter the contract that was in that 3PL, was I running on a stop, a piece count, nothing. I get a guarantee across the board. They didn't like it. Eventually, they didn't like it. Obviously, the branch manager that agreed it was no longer there. Another branch manager came in. He left, but then came Chris Alvarez. He's like the guy that they send in, like if you're at the blackjack table or you're at the crap table and you steady popping their ass, they'll change the pit boss on you or they'll change the dealer. This was the cleanup man. He came in to get that branch together. And one of the first things he started to do, he wanted to cut the budget. I was in there having my way. They couldn't get rid of me. I got too many trucks. So they tried to peel one of my best guys away, and they got in his ear to get his own trucks, and they would give him a contract. Young brother. This is divide and conquer. He fell for it. Him working for me, at this point, I don't know if I'm at 15 yet, but I'm over 10 trucks. I got the office and everything. So I think I was maybe at 12 or maybe 13 trucks at this time. I might have been at 15. Not really sure. But they pitched it and he started working behind the scenes. He never told me. Why? Because he knew it was wrong. The reason they wanted to peel him away is because they wanted to rid of me because I was on a guarantee. They had been trying to renegotiate with me for months. I wasn't budging. I knew what my profit margin was. I'm not moving. I didn't have to move. So he's working behind the scenes. He found a partner. They got a loan. He came in with 4 trucks. Now, Angel, my Hispanic, one of my Hispanic employees, Angel, he already blew the whistle on him. He already told my brother. My brother came and told me. So we was expecting it to come. About a week later, he gave us 2 weeks. We knew that he was taking Deshaun with him, and he took Kendrick with him, and it was one more person he took when I forgot. But anyway, he took 3 people with him. I forgot the third person he took with him. But I knew some people were going to leave, but they never gave they 2 weeks. I said, look, you can start your business, but why don't you get your trucks and just run them under my authority, still run the routes, but just run under my authority. So that way, we sow some type of unity division. The reason why they telling you this is because they want me out of there because I'm too powerful and I got too many trucks in there. They need me. Man, Mark, I want to drive nice cars too. I want a nice crib like you too. I want to take my girl to nice restaurants too. I want to do all this materialistic shit that he looking at. I want to have a fleet too. I want to do this too. Young man, if they're poaching you to come in to ultimately you're my best guy in there. One, they shouldn't be soliciting you. I didn't tell them that. But you're my best guy in there. If they're poaching you to come, that means if we peel his best guy away, then eventually that's all we need. We're going to get rid of him. He didn't understand that. I'm saying, bro, I'll give you 80%. I'll give you 85%. Just run it under my authority. Get your trucks. I'll keep the contract. Just, run it under my authority and I'll give you 85%. No, Mark. I let him work his 2 weeks out. The last day, those 3 people walked out. Monday, I hit him with the non-compete. Now I know my time is coming to an end now, right? Because I see the game Chris Alvarez is playing. You think I'm a dumb nigga? The guy that worked for me thought he was smarter than me too. Neither one of you are. Non-compete. How you want to do it? He ran one day, which is that Monday they shut him down. About 5 o'clock, I'm wrapping up. I see a white 16-foot box truck flying through my yard. It's him. Now you want to have the conversation that we should have had months ago. You let these people use you to divide and conquer. What makes you think you could beat me? It's in the contract, non-compete clause. They can't touch nobody that I sent there for at least a year. What makes you think you exempt? What makes them think that I don't fucking read contracts? Chris Alvarez just hung up. He didn't even say bye, nothing. I said, man, I got a non-compete. It's a non-compete in the contract. I said, how you want to do this? So now you got 4 trucks. You done had these people walk out. They didn't give me a 2 weeks, but man, Mark, I can't control them. Bro, but you had already set them up to leave me to come work for you. So now what you finna tell them? So when all y'all little young cats come over here that think just trucking is cut and dry, you don't know shit. This is why it's important to listen to older people who have tenure, because I got plenty of experiences. This is why reading is fundamental. It's just not a saying. Motherfuckers get contracts with 3PLs and they don't even read them. They put a non-compete in their own contract and solicited my drivers. Why? Because they know we don't read. Not this nigga here. They used divide and conquer. And it worked. He could have been forthcoming and said, Mark, I admire what you do. I aspire to do something similar. Can you help me? And what I told him the day when he came and gave his 2 weeks, I would have told him that initially. Go ahead, I'll help you. Just keep everything under the umbrella so we can show unity and we can grow. We'll own these fucking 3PLs. I was already 9 deep in that bitch with Office Depot. You know what happened with that gentleman? After I shut him down and he came to the yard pretty much pleading. There was nothing he really could do. And within that year, you know what? Where he ended up at? Somebody take a wild guess. Where did he end up at within the year? I mean, good person. Since then, I've run into him a couple times. He's apologized to me. He said he was wrong. You know, I've ran into him. I ran into him at a bar maybe like 5 years ago. I ran into him, in the street. I forgot where. But guess where he ended up within 12 months? Somebody take a wild guess. Somebody take a wild guess. Where did he end up at in 12 months? Somebody said trucking company and the joint prison. Worse. Clink. Pippi got it right. Worse than jail. He had to come back and ask if he could come back and work for me. Imagine that. Humbling experience. Pippi got it right. Worse than jail. You got to come back and ask. After all that, you had to come back and ask if he could work for me. And you know what a lot of people would have did at that point? They would have told him no. You know what I did? I gave him a job. Attitude different. Why? I could trust him. I could already trust him. And I knew for him to have to come back and ask me after what he did for an opportunity, don't get much more humbling than that. And you know where I put him? I didn't put him back on the final mile side. You know where I put him? On the moving side. Divide and conquer, people will use that in their favor to work against us. So what do we need to do? We need to address the lack of trust. We need to address this, you know, you know, repeating this cycle of just just one truck, this one hustle, this one man burnout. We need to understand that this systemic shit was put in place for a reason, and you have to think bigger than that. You have to break that cycle. It's generational. That's generational. It's also psychological. And it takes a strong individual to one understand it, because you have to understand it to be able to work around it and break it. I've said it plenty of times that I'll never do a business where I have to depend on people, especially my own people. And this is one of the main reasons. It's unfortunate. That's why I say I'm guilty of it too. I'm always going to be transparent. But the reason I feel the way that I feel is because of every time that I've helped, this is the shit that motherfucker got to go through. Will I give people chances again? Absolutely. But I'm going to be very, 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 particular, when I do. Solutions. Contracts. And not just the contracts, the actual reading of the contracts. If I didn't read contracts, when that 3PL solicited my drivers, imagine having trucks at a 3PL and the operations supervisor and the dispatchers are trying to wean your drivers over and coercing them and educating them on how to start their own business so that they can get rid of you because you're too powerful. That's the problem you want to have. And you don't want to have any problems, but when it gets to that point, you're doing something right. But what if I didn't read the contract? What if I was one of these guys like you see out here today that just be so happy to get some shit just to say they got some shit, and they get something this thick and they don't take the time to read it? Hit the like button. I wouldn't have known. This is their contract. This is the contract that I signed when I onboarded with them. This isn't a contract that I drafted. This is their contract that they drafted that I signed for my company. You know why they pulled it? Because motherfuckers don't read. Contracts are greater than handshakes. So even on a business level, when you're dealing with a partner, your own people, contracts. Put everything in writing. Roles are greater than egos. A lot of people today got egos. I see it in content creation. I see it everywhere. Everybody got an ego. Don't nobody want to ask for help. Not everybody just got it straight out the gate. That's what happened with Buddy. He allowed them to solicit him ignorantly when he could have just came and said, look, this is what they're doing, but it's something that I would like to do, but I understand what they're doing, and I just wanted to put you abreast on what's going on. Ego. It ain't nothing but ego when the cat come out the bag and you say, yo, I want to do the same shit you doing. The winning that you doing and what you've been able to accomplish, I want to accomplish it too. I just don't want to accomplish it with you. I'm giving you I'm extending my hand to stay with me. Do what you want to do, brother, but stay with me, because don't you see what they trying to do? Nah. Nigga, you look just like me. So if you did it, I can do it. Got in, realized that it was a lot harder. I just make it look easy, baby. I make it look easy. The contract that they gave him wasn't the same contract that I got. I'm on a guarantee. They put them on a per piece count. So guess what? When the pieces was low, the money was low. Pieces low for me, still big dollars. It could be one piece or 100 pieces. You got to pay me the same thing. Why? I got leverage. They not going to try to solicit and wean you over to offer you the same deal. They want me out the way because I'm knocking them upside the head because I know they need me. He didn't realize that until later on. Ego. A lot of people trick themselves up out their spot because of their ego. Like when you see people coming in here in the chat talking crazy, and then those same people 7 months down the line come back and like, man, y'all see it all the time. Man, I like you at first, but man, I just didn't like hearing it, man. You was right. It's your ego. Like, why would you like you think I'm telling you some shit that just to be saying some shit? No, I'm telling you what it is. I'm just not presenting it to you like some of your favorite people because a lot of people just want to be liked. A lot of people rather not give you the quality because it may deter you away from buying whatever it is they're trying to sell, or it may deter you away from liking them. A lot of people want to be liked. What do you see what the chicks do on Instagram? They'll post a picture. If the likes ain't high what they want them to be, what they do, they hide the likes. You scroll down some of these IG chicks, you'll see some pictures where it won't say no likes, then some pictures 3,000 likes. They hide the ones where they don't get liked. Why? Because they want to be liked. Their ego won't allow them to just leave the shit open. And you know what? This picture didn't get that many likes, but this picture did. Or they delete the pic, like Terrell said. Like, we in a society today where ego will fuck you up and trick you up out your spot because your ego won't allow you to say, brother, can you help me? I ain't never been ashamed or scared to ask for help in something that I wasn't, well versed in. How someone get what the information I need or whatever it is I need if I don't open my mouth and ask? Pride, nigga, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Ego, nah, ego will hold you back. But with us, we hate to ask us. It's hard for us to just acknowledge when one of us can provide something of value. It's just hard to seem like it's just hard. Why is it so hard to fucking accept, bro? Long term is greater than short term. The hustle, that ego shit amongst us, that shit is gonna result with what you see majority of us since the last 5 years. You're gonna get the same results. Short. Stand down till you come up. Reinvest in the money. Stop going out doing dumb shit. We got to stop that shit. We have to stop the dumb shit. Unity is better than individualism. When I come up here and I talk, One is because I'm qualified to do so. And two is because of my qualifications, 10-year experience, I know that what I say can ultimately help people, right? And guess what? It doesn't cost you anything. That's a form of unity. I understand that my largest demographic looks like this. It's up to you to decide how you receive it. Oh, there's a percentage of people that have an ego. Man, we don't like it. Man, he ain't out here. Some of the dumbest shit, bro. I'm not out there. What does that got to do with anything? This the ignorance and the incompetence that I'm talking about. So you want me to be out there? I already won that game. I thought the whole objective was to win and move the fuck on. You ain't out here. See that? See what I mean? So you out there and I'm in the house, man. You in the house. Yeah. You know how much it costs to be in the house? Like being in the house ain't free. I hope you know that, right? It's not free. So even when you try to come and educate a motherfucker, there's gonna be a small percentage that's gonna say, man, you ain't out here. What the fuck does that got to do with anything? So all the years that my ass was out there, and I know a lot of the people who new to the channel, they come in, they think I'm, man, bro, I thought you was only 30. Man, damn, I thought you was on 27. No, nigga, I'm old. I'm older. I just look good. But motherfucker won't even go in depth into the content portfolio to realize that. They'll come across one video and they'll get in their feelings because of their ego. Nigga, anybody that takes the time out their day, whether they're credible or not, that attempts to put their face on the screen and give you some type of information, like that's a form of unity. But motherfucker won't even look at it that way. So the more ignorance I see, I start. I ain't going to tell you what but I tell you this: if other groups can come here with nothing, and this is how pitiful this shit is. If other groups can come here, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm categorizing myself because I'm black, but my mindset don't think like this. And me having this conversation with you is to open your mind so that you could do better. But if other groups can come here with nothing and build together, how come we can't? The first thing you need to do is unlearn the division that was taught to your ass. It's been plenty times people, just some ignorant person that came and said something in the comment, and I just been like, man, fuck this shit, nigga. I don't gotta sit up here and talk to your ass. I ain't gotta give you these gems and this experience. I ain't gotta do this shit. But then I have to think like, yo, like one motherfucker, I can't let one ignorant motherfucker because it might be two people that appreciate. I don't let my ego get in the way. But you gotta unlearn that that mentality of division, and it's not like it may be harder for some than others, right? Because it's been embedded for generations and generations, but it's not that hard. It starts here. You understand it exists. Start working towards doing the opposite. It's simple. It may not be easy. And it is challenging dealing with your own. Trust me. If anybody knows, I know I say it all the time. The day, listen, even to this day, my old warehouse is still in the community I grew up in. And whenever I go pick my mom up and take her to lunch or whatever, we have to drive past it to get to the expressway. Earlier this week, me and my mom, I had to take my mom somewhere to a meeting, and we drove past, and I looked over because the owners, they ain't taking care of the place. It's abandoned now. And my OG always say the same thing. That chapter is over, and I'm glad it is, because she knew what my homie was telling me this morning when we was just kind of going back down memory lane. Like, when she would come up there, she would just feel it. She knew that a lot of those guys that worked, they it was a level of resentment, and it was because I looked like them, and I was in a situation that they wanted to be, and they felt like they deserved to be there. Anybody that can start something from n- nothing and grow it to something that's beautiful deserves to be there. You don't deserve to be there just because we got the same skin complexion. When we work for other ethnicities, why we don't look at the other ethnicities the same way when we look at ourselves? Why, when we work for white people, we just automatically assume that they supposed to have this, or Arabs, they supposed to have it, or Indians, they supposed to have it, Chinese? But when we work for ourselves, we feel like, oh, well, that level of resentment is there. Why is that? I never understood that. She was more happier than me because she knew what I had to deal with every day. I remember a motherfucker told me he was late, and he just had an issue with being tardy. And just like the guy yesterday that was dry humping the steering wheel when we was talking to him, no accountability. He was like, man, I wasn't on the expressway. Bro, you dry humping the goddamn steering wheel. You ain't got no seatbelt on. Yeah, but I wasn't on the expressway. I didn't have no load. Bro, the truck is rolling and you're dry humping the steering wheel. He didn't see nothing wrong with that. This guy didn't see nothing wrong with being late every day. So one day when I just finally had to read him his rights, I wasn't going to fire him. I just read him his rights. He kind of tried to fire back, like, well, man, it's your responsibility. This is a grown man. Man, it's your responsibility to make sure we get to work. I said, huh? He said, it's your responsibility to make sure we get to work. I said, how the fuck is it my responsibility to make sure you get to work? Because we work for you. What? Yeah, you should give us some bus cards or some shit. Nigga, I give you work. Then after you do the work, at the end of the week, I pay you. It's your responsibility to make sure you appropriate some money for transportation. I've never heard of no fucking job ensuring somebody gets to and fro work. Like, what are you talking about? Because, man, we making you all this money. Motherfucker, you ain't made me shit. The opportunities that are present that I'm letting you get is because of the work that I put in. These opportunities wouldn't be present if I didn't go out and do the work to acquire them. The reason why I have employees is because I did the initial grassroots work to get to this point to be able to even employ you. How the fuck you making me rich or you making me money? No. I made me who I am, and because I made me who I am, it allows me to provide you an opportunity. That's the truth. See the mentality? That's how we look at each other. But if it's another ethnicity, motherfucker go work for, oh man, thanks for the opportunity. You work for a black motherfucker, oh, we making you rich. Oh, we getting you money. You getting money off of our sweat. You getting money off of our back. You making money off of our hard work. You go work for Walmart, you go work for Target, you go work for goddamn it, whoever. If it's not a black owned business, man, they gave me an opportunity. Black motherfucker, oh, you making money off our back. What? Why the black business owner can't be held to the same regards of any other successful ethnicity business owner? And then you wonder why we keep falling by the wayside. The system has done its job. All they got to do now is keep us from trusting each other, and we'll just continue to destroy ourselves. We've been successful at it for I don't know how many years. But it can stop. It's just the mindset got to change. If we can learn to work together, if we can learn to be accountable for our actions, like the guy yesterday, he didn't want to take no accountability. We don't want to take no accountability for this dumb shit that we do. Like go look at all the dumb shit. It's on the internet. You can go look at all the dumb shit on the internet, like the shit we saw yesterday. We don't take accountability. If we don't stop being hustlers with trucks and transition into businessmen and women, you're just gonna remain hustlers with trucks instead of corporations with fleets. So to get to the solution, first it has to start here. You got to unlearn this divide and conquer mentality that has been embedded in us for generations in order to, grow and thrive. Because if you don't get rid of that, then like everything that you hear people talk about and you've heard talk about for the past, I don't know how many years, and you haven't seen any results of it, this is why. When you see people that look like you that are doing good, instead of having an ego and having that dissension and that resentment, ask questions, seek knowledge. If you allow something that was systemically embedded into you psychologically, and you continue to allow it to destroy you and hold you back, speaks a lot to your mindset. The same opportunities that the successful black person, had, you can have it too. The difference between the person who became successful versus the person who struggled, this. I say it all over and over again. Yeah, is it gonna be harder for you? 100%, absolutely. Absolutely. It is gonna be difficult. But if you empower this and you exercise this, you'll see more doors open up. You'll see things will become a lot easier for you. It starts here. We don't use this. Yeah, 100 people, 55 likes. Hit the like button. All right, let me read a few of these comments. Monte said, we do a lot of that. I remember when I worked in retail, often I would get my people that expect me to provide a discount or something. Yeah, but see, here's the thing with that, especially in the community. You When you open a retail store, let's say general merchandise, and let's take Walmart out the equation, you competing against, depending on where you live in America, let's say from general merchandise, either Arabs or maybe like Indians. The thing with them is, especially from a general merchandise side, they kind of operate the same as the Asians. They have an intra network where they buy in bulk and then they redistribute amongst their own, right? So now, if you're an independent black owned, let's say general merchandise store, we don't have that network. So you're buying straight from the distributor, right, at a higher unit cost, and then that higher unit cost gets passed along to the consumer when you set the shit on your shelf. But the store down the street that is owned from another ethnicity that has an intra network where they're buying more in bulk because they're pooling all their money together and they're distributing amongst themselves, their unit cost is a lot lower, to the point where their shelf price is lower. And then when man come in the store and say, man, I'm short 50 cents here, I'm short 30 cents there, it's $2.50. Aki, I'm short 50 cents. Can I? Aki gonna give it to him for $2. Aki selling loose squares out the back. Middle Americans, you don't know what I'm talking about. So it's hard to compete. You on the up and up. They got other shit going on. Plus, they got an intra-network where they pooling their money together. So their unit cost is a lot lower. When you see them get a delivery, somebody that looks like them pull up in a box truck. You see us get a delivery, it's the actual distributor. Distributor's gonna, your price is gonna be determined by the units you buy. And I get why, in the community, I ain't gonna say the hood, when we frequent these stores, the majority of people ask for a discount is because of that. They've already been conditioned to what we call, because I'm old school, Jewing you down from. That's just something that's just been going on for years. So read a few more comments and I'm out of here. Shout out to everybody that came in late. Let me see. Somebody said something. Who was that? Joshua said you love them. Oh no, y'all having a conversation with Buddy. I hope Buddy ain't in here tweaking, because Buddy, this conversation wasn't even for you. See, here's the thing too. Sometimes some people you gotta know when to just watch and be quiet. If I'm speaking to a specific demographic of people, common sense would say, yo, let me stay out of this. See, shit like this. See this shit? I know who this person is, but to a person who's watching this, just off the verbiage used, Mark, if you want your people, so by saying your people, this already excludes him from looking like this. So we know he's something else. To understand, don't put it in the book. See this? One, why would you say some shit like that? Because it's racist. And I'm okay with it if you're a racist. I'm not, that shit don't make me feel nothing. Why? Because I know it exists. It's all around us. A lot of people feel that way. It's just closeted. But like, why would you type it? Like, why would you type this? Why would you type this? Because I could respond to it. Because I think it's racist. And I could respond, and my response is going to be nasty. It's going to be ugly. It's going to hurt. I want to get it. I want to see his response to this. I want to see his response because it's going to hurt what I'm going to say. It's going to hurt. It's going to sting because I just think sometimes you should just be quiet. I'm going to leave this on the screen until he responds. I want you to respond to this shit right here. What do you mean by this? Provide some context to what you mean by this. Now don't get quiet now. Don't get quiet now. Because my response is good. So get your response together on what you mean by this. Get your response together, because my response is gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. Now don't get quiet. You the most vocal motherfucker in here. Get the shit together now. Get a good one together. No. Hold on. Get your response together. What do you mean by this? Because I already know what I'm gonna say. So tell me what you mean by this. Matter of fact, see, I didn't want to go here. I did not want to go here. What you mean by this? See, because he already know where I'm finna go. And it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. I've been real polite. I think this live stream was very informational. I think it was very educational. I think it was very inspiring. And then this. And I tried to ignore it. I saw it come up, but I was in the midst of the dialogue that I was having, and it's just not one of the ones where I wanted to interrupt it, because I may cut this portion of the live stream off, right? And just end it there. So I didn't want to, but this right here, like, some things you can feel and just don't say. No. This is not what I said. This is not what I said. You said Mark. You can't say this is something that I said and then you put it in a fucking sentence with my name first. So by putting my name first, that means, first of all, I'm intelligent and I'm educated. Just get this hood Chicago shit. I'm that too. But listen, I know I'm different. You seen a black motherfucker with dreads is educated. I know it's kind of you don't see it a lot, but let me explain something to you. If you put my name first, that means you're addressing me. So don't say that it's something that you heard me say, because you put my name first. That means you're addressing me. Mark, if you want your people, so it's not something that I said. You said your people. To understand, don't put it in a book. So no, you can't quote me. That's not a quote. Because if you quote, you would have said, Mark said, quotation mark. This is what Mark said. You want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book. That's what Mark said. You said, Mark, if you want your people, see, you can't dance with me. Don't try to pull back don't pull it back now. Accept it. You out there now. And now you getting called out for it. So now come speak on it. What do you mean by that? No, that wasn't my quote. That wasn't my quote. One thing about me, a motherfucker tell you, if I said it, I stand on it. That wasn't my quote. You can't say I quoted. You can't say that it was a quote when you start your sentence with Mark. You're addressing me. If you want your people, how is it a quote when you say your people? Mark, if you want your people. But let's say it was, which it wasn't, but let's say it was. Do you think it would be wise for you to reiterate that? Do you think it would be wise for you to reiterate that? See, this is a conversation where I know I have a mixed audience, but it's predominantly black. And guess what? All the people who knew that this conversation wasn't for them and it didn't pertain to them, they're watching silently and quietly. But here you come, you don't know how to sit your ass down and be quiet because this conversation is not for you. So what happens is you speak out of turn and then you say some shit, and then a guy like me pulls it up and say, what you mean by this? This is why certain situations, when it don't pertain to you, you should do this. Don't ever think you comfortable over here. And if I'm talking to my people, I can do that. Don't ever get too comfortable. That you think I won't drag you. If I go into a channel and I see a conversation of a specific demographic that's targeting a specific demographic from a position of inspiring, accountability, education, mentoring, and it has nothing to do with me, if I'm interested in staying there because it's something that I want to consume, but I know it's not directly associated with my demographic, I have no business saying shit. What makes you think you comfortable enough to say some shit? You just don't know when enough is enough. You type motherfucker, you'll talk yourself. You the type of person that'll talk yourself into an ass whooping. You don't know when to just be quiet. You a type of person, you will talk yourself into an ass whooping. I know what the title of my video is. And you ain't black. So now what? Like what you saying is you're not black, bro. You're not a black person. So you tell me to look at the title of the video that I titled. I don't have to look at because I titled it. And then when I do this, it's like a person This shit is scare. This shit is like the boogeyman because now you got to speak on it. That's like the boogeyman right there. That's the boogeyman. Once I discovered that the way you combat this type of shit is by doing what I just did, and I seen the fear, that shit like the boogeyman. Because now you gotta open invite to come up here and substantiate whatever the fuck it is that you talking about. But then what I realized is, person can't do that. It's easy to just do this. In a conversation that ain't got shit to do with you. Conversation ain't got nothing to do with you. You don't know how to just sit your ass down and be quiet. I do something that a lot of people in this space don't do, is drop the link and let you come up. And what I realized very early on is that it's safer to do this. Because when you come up, you got to be able to speak. Yeah, that's what I'm implying. See, me, I'm going to tell you what it is. Yeah, that's what I'm implying. You know why I'm implying it? Because here's where, and you can say one thing, but let me explain you why education, to all the brothers, the young brothers that's watching, this is why education is important. Because a person to try to trick you, right, into thinking it's something that it's not. Where is it at? See right here? See, it reads this way. Mark, if you want your people, mark, by putting my name first in the sentence, that means you're addressing me. See, you could have sold the bullshit to an uneducated person. An uneducated person would have been like, oh, okay, I thought you were saying it. No, you can't pull that with me. By putting my name first, that means you're addressing me. You didn't use your proper you should have put a comma after my name, first of all. But by putting my name first, that means you're addressing me. Hold on. Yo.
All right. So what's the comfortable part about me just?
Well,
did I say something racist? Did I say something that was
yeah.
gonna
This is
imply
you
I'm
don't
racist? Is that what?
read what you wrote. How does it
I read
read?
what I wrote.
Okay, so how does it read? Read it how you wrote it.
I don't know how it reads. Because I was implying what you said last time that
This is not an
something like if
implication.
you don't want black people to know something, put it in the book, something like that, right? That's what you
Okay.
said, not me.
Okay, so if it was a quote, why does it read and why did you write it as you are addressing me? See, the way you wrote it,
Right,
and
you
this is
said
what
it.
I said. What? This is not what I
said.
said.
That's why I put Mark, right? Because you said it, not me. I didn't say that.
So a few weeks ago, we had a conversation about education. And we were
Right.
using hypotheticals. And I said, what if your kid wanted to go to school for a higher level education? You totally went against it. And this is why you need to be educated. Because you can't say this is an implication. You can't say this is a quote.
That was your quote. I might have not quoted it the right way, but I was trying to tell you what you said in my own way. But you said you was talking about Harvard and all that stuff, and I told you I don't care about that. If it was up to me, I'd build a Harvard instead of going to the Harvard that'll take me what they want me to do. I'll build a Harvard.
So
That's just me
so
if I was in that
so
mindset.
how can you build a Harvard when
I'm,
listen, I when I read things, I comprehend. I read to
so what are you trying to
understand.
apply that I'm racist? What are you
Well,
trying to apply?
here's the thing. I'm not implying anything. I'm reading it. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let me pull it back up. Let me pull it back up. Where does it go? Where is it?
You're talking about unity, right? Unity, is that what it is? Unity is the reason people or black truckers, box truckers don't
Why do
struggle
you
or
do
something like
this?
that.
Why do you do this? What does that mean? When do you do that? What is that?
Black is a color, right? Black is a color. So not everybody is going to think the same way. I don't know if you mean black in color, black in mind, black in nation, black, whatever it may be to anybody else. That's why I
Black
say
and
black. And
mind.
some people say take it differently, black, right? Black to me is a color. Black to me is a color. To me is a color. That's why I say black.
Where is that? God damn it!
But
I don't even. Did you delete it? I don't see it no more.
but I was talking about unity, and I said in order to unify, you have to have understanding. That's where all that came from. And then you said, I got the quote that you said, in order to some black people, you got to put in the book. Basically, what I got from that
Yeah.
is that you said in order for people not to understand something or grab something, put it in a book, right? Is that what you mean by that?
That's not what the quote was. See, when you quote somebody, you have to quote them exactly, and then you have to use the right punctuation. So when you don't use the
Yeah, but
right
I'm human. I'm not
punctuation,
perfect. I'm not going to
no,
quote
no, no,
word
no,
for
no, no,
word,
no.
man.
Well, see, here's things. Certain things that are very sensitive, you have to make sure you get them correct. I don't want to hear that I'm human shit. Like I no, I
But
don't want to
I'm
hear
telling
that
you,
I'm human shit. Because
I'm
if
telling
it's
you, I'm not
something
going to
that's
quote
listen to me, if it's
I'm not
something
going to quote your
sensitive,
word by
hold on.
word, man.
Here's the thing. If I quote you, I'm gonna quote you verbatim. Why? Because I don't want to misquote you.
Wait,
Hold on.
wait.
Hold on. If
Remember
I
that time?
quote you, I'm
You
gonna
said,
quote you
wait.
I'm gonna
Remember that
quote
time
you
you said,
verbatim. See,
see, that's
this
why
is
I
why
like
you
to be
need to
on the
be
computer. I
educated.
can't hear you.
No, okay, because I'm speaking and you trying to speak over me, and this is why education is important because you can't dance out of this. When you quote
No, I'm not
somebody,
dancing. What
the
am I
whole
dancing out of?
listen,
What am I dancing out of? What am I
the
dancing out
whole
of?
purpose of a quote is to reiterate what a person said verbatim.
Wait, last time I educated you, you said gig work is not a
You
job.
can't
And when
educate
we
me.
went to
You
the
can't.
definition, it said a job. So you're also human and you also got school that day that a gig is a job. You said it's not a job, but when I read you the definition, you acted like you didn't see that word. You didn't see that definition. Read that they think I'm racist or whatever it is, but that the intention that I have is not racist. It was that you said that if you hide something from black people, put it in a book, or you want to hide something from a black. That's what I have from your quote. Put it in a book. Basically, black people don't read. Is that what you're saying? Is that what that quote meant? Black people
Right.
don't read,
So
right?
here's
So I'm
where
telling you,
here's where you're not understanding.
somebody think you're racist. That's not my intention to be racist or whatever.
Here's
That was
where
not my intention. But I'm trying to say,
let me
in order to unify, you gotta have an understanding. That's all. That's all.
let me help you understand something. Some things are for you and some things aren't. Not everything is for you.
I got you. I got you.
Sometimes it's best to just do this.
I got it. I got it. I got you.
Because what
Okay.
happens is when you put
But
yourself in
I was
some
responding. I was
hold
responding
on.
to people in the chat.
I'm
People say
trying to help,
crazy.
but here's the
When
thing.
people say crazy, I'm responding to them, not what you're talking
Listen to
about.
me.
I'm responding to
Let
them.
me say something.
Right?
Let me tell you something. When you put yourself into something that ain't got shit to do with you, you'll say some shit or you'll do some shit and you don't understand that what you doing, it may be perceived differently. Now, this shit right here,
How come we got black people? Wait. How come we got black people on here talking about immigrants and immigrants this, immigrants that? How then can I not jump in and say, hey, listen, shut up. You don't know about immigrants. You're not an immigrant. Why can't I
well,
have that choice
you
to say,
can't.
Oh well,
You can.
you're not an
You,
enemy.
you
Why are you talking about
hold
enemy?
on.
That's not your
Hold on.
fight,
Hold
right?
on.
Right?
You absolutely can when that
Okay.
discussion is going on. There's no
Okay.
discussion going on. Yesterday, you clicked the link right when I hit the end button. 2 weeks ago, when Kirk and Pop Sosa and all these guys were up here, that was your time to interject and give your thoughts. But if there's a conversation that has a specific demographic in the
Right.
title, and if you can comprehend, I'm speaking to a specific demographic. How
Basically,
come
you're telling me.
I hold on, let me finish. How come I see other people in here that watch my channel that do not represent this demographic but frequent my channel? They ain't said nothing. Why? Because they know this is not pertaining to them, but they're interested in still consuming the content, but they're knowledgeable enough to not interject because it's not for them. So now your question is, why are people saying you're comfortable? I'm educating you.
Right.
Let me tell you why. Because you're comfortable to the fact that you think it's safe for you to do so.
What do you mean safe? What do you? I don't. Look, if black people want to beat me up just because I say something, it's not even
No, no,
racist.
no.
Now, if I came here to say something with a racial intention, with a racist, with a hateful intention, I didn't,
no,
I'm
no,
just
no.
saying you beat me up,
No, no,
man.
no.
Go ahead, go ahead. But
No,
if
no,
you
no,
try to
no.
beat me up just because I say something or my opinion, or maybe, hey, listen, listen, whatever, crazy. Listen, we don't appreciate you saying that, or this is school me on it. But like automatically saying, listen, don't have a voice, don't speak like, then put it to private where like only black people, like this is a black only chat,
Well, well,
no, right?
well, well,
Then I
well,
would be
well,
like, you
well,
know what,
well
I'm
crazy.
interceding because it says no
Crazy.
immigrants allowed.
No, 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 no. So you were fine until you wrote this.
Well,
And
that's
how
what you said,
hold
not
on, bro.
me. I
Hold
don't think
on.
that.
No, 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 no.
I
Hold
don't
on.
think that. You
So
think
hold
that,
on.
not
So
me.
hold on. So you're missing the point even with this, because you're a person who doesn't believe in education, but because you
I
don't believe
don't.
in it. Okay, so this is why you
I'd
don't
rather make
understand.
education than
So this is why you don't understand why it reads the way it reads. See, in your head, you're thinking one thing, but the way it reads is Mark. If you want your people to understand, don't put it in a book. So,
right,
see,
because you said it.
no,
You
listen
said
to
it,
me.
not me.
You're missing the point because you're not educated, sir, and you
Nah,
refuse
the
to
point is
educate
you trying to
yourself.
give me attention that I never thought in me. Like I'm not thinking about a black race, all this nonsense. I'm not thinking about none of that. I'm just thinking about unity and understanding, and I'm trying to use your
You're
quotes
you're
to make you
you're
see that
missing the
unity
point. So
requires
when
understanding. That's all.
so
That's all.
when
That was
you
my
quote
point.
when you quote somebody, the first thing you do is make sure the whole purpose of quoting a person is to reiterate what they said verbatim. Second of all, you emphasize it with the correct punctuation, right? So when you lead off the sentence with Mark, that means that's you're addressing an individual. You're addressing me because
Right,
you
right.
led off the sentence. See, this is
You said
education,
it.
bro. Listen to me.
You
Listen to me.
said it.
No, no, no. You're wrong. When you quote somebody, you put
Okay.
quotation.
What is
Hold
your
on.
quote?
Let me
What's your
educate.
quote
The
about
first
hiding in a book? Wait, 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 wait. What is
I'm
your
finna
quote?
tell
Can
you.
I say something?
The first thing you
Can I say
say
something before you educate
that
me? Because
I'm
if you
gonna
don't
let
know
you
my
say
point of
something.
view, how can you educate me?
I'm gonna let you say something. But first, let me educate you on how you could have did. If what you're saying is true, let me explain to you how you should have did it the right way, so that it wouldn't read like this. Because the way I'm reading it is you addressing me. If you want to quote somebody, first you
Right.
have to make sure you have what the person said verbatim, word for word, because you don't want to misquote anybody. That's the purpose of quoting somebody.
Right.
You
I'm,
lead off the
I'm,
sentence with,
wait,
"Hold on,
hold
let
on,
me
wait, wait,
finish."
wait, wait, wait.
Hold on.
I
No, you
wasn't
gonna let me
quoting you
finish.
word for word
You
because I
go.
was putting my
Okay,
mix into it. I was putting my
no,
mix into it.
okay, so when
Right.
you
So
put
I'm
your
not gonna
mix
be
into
quoting
it,
word for
when you
word.
put your mix into it, it comes out unintelligent, it comes out ignorant, and it reads Mark. If you want your people to understand, don't put it in a book. So let me tell you what Mark would do. If Mark was going to jump in the deep end of the water and insert myself in a conversation that didn't have shit to do with me, and I call myself quoting somebody, if I can't quote them verbatim, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut and I ain't gonna say shit at all. Why? Because it'll read wrong. Second of all,
Right.
I'm going to read what I said because I don't want it to be misinterpreted. Because what
So
you're the way
wait.
you
First, tell me
no,
what. First, tell me what you get by what I put there. Is it like an? Well, I understand the way you said mind your business. I get that, but you're in a public. Like, if you wanted me not to speak, either ban me or say, you know what, only
I'm
blacks
not I'm
allowed
not
to speak.
I'm not
But
going to ban
you're
you.
in a
I'm not
public
going to ban
forum
you.
to say
Here's
something.
the thing. Here's the thing. You're
You gotta
missing the point.
define me.
You're missing the point because now talking to you, I 100% believe that what you thought in your head, you really thought that,
Hmm.
but you wrote it wrong. So
What
what
I
I'm
told
trying to
you,
do,
what I thought.
what I'm trying to do is correct because I know you uneducated. I
Okay,
know you uneducated and I know you don't believe
right.
in
I know
educated.
I'm
That's why
educated. Doesn't mean I'm not smart. Doesn't
I
mean
know
I've seen
you
a lot of educated people. They're
okay.
really dumb, man.
So
They're
well, I'm
really
not.
dumb.
Well,
Plenty.
unfortunately for you, I'm not dumb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you so you don't make this mistake again. If you quote somebody, the first thing you need to make sure is that you have what you want to quote verbatim, word for word.
Okay, I
You
didn't
need
put
to
it right.
listen.
Mark,
Okay,
comma,
well,
right? Mark, comma. Right?
no,
That's me.
no,
Mark, comma, and then what else?
It's no. You don't
Okay,
put. You don't.
not your.
If you start
Not
with a person's name,
your
if you start with a person's name, that means you're
okay, hold on.
addressing them. You shouldn't start with my name at all. You should start with a quotation mark and then what I said verbatim. Quotation. What I said verbatim. End
So
quote.
Mark at the end. So Mark
Hyphen.
at the end.
Hyphen.
Mark at the end. Is that
Hyphen.
what you say?
Hyphen. Mark the mentor.
Right.
And then an educated person would understand this is a quote directly from the mouth of Mark the mentor because you use the correct punctuation, you hyphen, and you cited the source of the individual that said that. See, now, this is why education will, because it's going to take you far, but you don't believe in that. And this is why you'll never win with a guy like me. You'll never win. See, I pride myself on education. I talk that hood street shit, but what makes me dangerous, I turn that education up on your ass and I'll make your ass look silly. I'll make your ass look silly.
You said it was a job.
I'm done, bro. Game over. What you want to do? What you want to do? Sure, 10-4. Now, this is why you need to be educated, because people will try you. Just like the examples I gave earlier in this lecture with the 3PL. And all the other scenarios that I gave, people will try you. Nah, not over here. Not over here. And to all the young people listening, that's watching, when it comes to trucking, this is how you win. I don't give a fuck about pumping up a pallet jack. I don't give a fuck about backing into a dock. I don't care nothing about lifting a refrigerator. I don't care nothing about loading a truck of appliances. All that shit, anybody can do that. The way you win the game in business, right here. I'm gone.